Cheese omelet.
Cheese omelet, you got it, yes. And for you, ma'am?
I'll have a low-calorie,
Low-cal. How would you like that cooked?
I'm really starving.
I'm very hungry too.
You're angry?
Oh, hi,
Hungry,
Debbie.
hungry. Oh.
Debbie?
Hi, how are you?
Must be a good tape, Mary.
Huh? Huh?
Must be a good tape.
Oh, it's not a tape, it's a radio.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm really starving.
If you're really hungry, you should have one of those.
Hero?
A what?
Hero.
Hero. Oh. It's a huge sandwich.
Yeah, it's also a French word. Hero.
Yeah, but in English, we pronounce the H. Hero. How do you pronounce it in Spanish, Mary? Héroe. You sound just like David.
No, no. Mary's hero is very different from my hero.
Do you know what you want?
Yes, I'm going to take a roast beef hero.
Oui, monsieur.
Oh, you speak French.
No, I took a course last summer. I can't speak it, but I can recognize a few French words.
Good.
That's one roast beef. And you, mademoiselle?
I like a meatball héroe.
Oh, pardon. It's senorita.
That's good. You really recognize different languages.
It's nothing. Et tu?
I'll have a turkey and cheese hero.
Gotcha. Let's see. That's one roast beef hero, one meatball héroe, and a turkey and cheese hero.
That's great. How would you pronounce hero?
How would I say it?
Hey, Eddie, that's 3 big boys for table 4.
Coming up.
When we meet and greet each other, there are signals we recognize. Your eyes, a smile, a wave, a wag, a rub, a hug, a kiss. When we meet and greet each other, there are signals we all know, even if you don't understand the words.
Konnichiwa. Hola. Yasha.
Assalamu alaikum.
Zdrasте. Namaste. Merhaba.
Cześć. Howdy.
You understand. Hello.
This is Alex. He's an African gray parrot. Alex is taking a break from his work at a university. Northwestern University in Illinois. What's a parrot doing at a university?
What do you want? You want to go chair?
Alex is being studied by Dr. Irene Pepperberg, an anthropologist. Dr. Pepperberg is experimenting to find out if Alex can understand the meanings of the words he says.
Does he know what it is? Mm-hmm. He has a label for it. Come on, tell me what's here.
War.
Good boy. That's right. That's right. For a parrot, chewing apart a piece of wood is a lot of fun. And he gets the wood as his reward so that there's the closest possible association between the object and its label.
What do you mean the label?
Okay, he identified the object. He gave a name to the object we were handing him. And that's what we call labeling. So he used the human term to identify the object.
Alex says, I want, whenever he wants to tell us he wants something. Does that mean he's using our language?
Not really. It does mean that he's learned how to communicate with us.
What's the difference?
Okay, the difference is that, for example, if he really had language, he would be able to take a bunch of different sentences and recombine them to express new thoughts. So he would have a sentence like, I'm Alex, I like chocolate, and that's a donut. And then he would say, Alex wants a chocolate donut. all right? That would be a language in the sense of being really able to recombine a lot of different phrases. What he can do is a simple form of language, which is knowing that there's a phrase, I want, and knowing that there's a bunch of different objects that can be put in the slot that follows I want.
I want blank.
That's right, that's right. And that means that he can communicate his wants to us, but it's not as complex as language.
What's this, Alex? Look.
Chupinary?
What's binary? This is an apple.
Okay, that's Alex's label for the object. Okay, he made that one up by himself. This time we were training him to say apple, and he'd begun to say a little puh noise, and then all of a sudden he looks at it and he says, I want binary. And at the time, the labels in his vocabulary for fruits were banana, cherry, and grape.
Binary is a combination between banana and cherry.
Right, and at the time the apple was red, so it made a lot more sense than for the green one.
Like a big cherry.
That's right, which tasted a little bit like a banana.
Wow. How many different words can he say?
Okay, he has a vocabulary of 30 labels for objects. He knows 6 colors, 5 shapes. He can identify quantities up to 6. And he has functional use of phrases like come here and no, and I want this or want to go there, where this and there are actually appropriate labels. So like when he was requesting I want walnut, he can put any of those 30 different objects in the slot where walnut was. I'm going to see if he can show you that he understands concepts, okay? And we're going to try a little test, and if he does it correctly, I'll explain what we're about. Hey, come on.
What do you mean concepts?
Okay, let's see if he'll do this first. Come on, Alex, look. Can you tell me what's different? Want to taste? Tell me what's different. Okay? Can you tell me what's different?
So you're asking him what's different between the two
That's
objects.
correct. Tell me what's different.
Color.
Good parrot.
Color.
That's right.
There is a difference between these objects, and the only difference between them, you see they're the same material,
Right.
and they're the same shape. The only difference is their color.
Oh,
So this is a further concept than just simply knowing that, say, orange is a color.
he understands the quality of color.
Correct. Well, one of the things we're trying to figure out is whether he can learn to use English vocalizations to identify different objects. And then once he has a certain vocabulary of English labels, we can then figure out if he can use these to understand concepts, such as categories, in terms of like different colors, what is a color, whether objects that vary with respect to color or shape have particular aspects still in common, and things like that.
How does that help you understand about the bird's use of language?
Because we're using English to somehow figure out what is going on when he thinks about these colors and shapes and materials. Obviously, in the wild, he has to have some knowledge, say, of colors or knowledge of same and different, so that he knows that if this berry was red at this time and it tasted good, another berry that's red at another time is going to taste good as well.
Because it's the same, and it has the same qualities, the same color, the same shape.
And the same flavor, probably. Hey, what's different? Come on, what's different?
What's different?
What's different?
Shape.
Good birdie!
Shape.
You're a good parrot.
So he understands the concept of same and different.
Right, and this means that we can now, in the laboratory, get actual data on what's happening.
Because he can communicate with you in some way.
That's correct, yeah. And we're not sure what an animal's concept of number is in the wild. And we're not sure that they need it in the wild. But what we've been able to show is that he can identify quantities of objects if we show them to him. So let's see if he'll do this. Come on, can you tell me how many? Come on, how many? How many? How many?
2.
That's right. You're right.
That's right.
You're right. There were 2. Yeah, you want a nut. Well,
Now you can get one.
get a small nut.
So you, this time he said 2. And does he say 2 the majority of times?
Yeah, he's right again about 75, 80% of the time.
Do parrots talk to each other in the wild?
We think they do. We're not sure. A lot of researchers are doing some experiments to determine whether that's true or not. The parrot in particular has what's called a duetting behavior, which means that a parrot and its mate, when separated by great distances in the wild, have a specific code that they use back and forth to locate one another in a big flock of birds. And they've also been shown to use a different code when they're very close together, say sitting next to one another on a perch. And scientists suppose that this is some kind of communication code. Hey, where do you want to go?
I want to go shoulder.
Let's go on shoulder. You want to go on her shoulder? Okay, you can go sit on her shoulder. There you go.
Hi, Alex. Hi.
I love you. I'm gonna go eat lunch. I'll be back in 2 hours, eh?
This is the United States. The next story takes place here, in France.
Bathroom door.
This is Cochin Hospital in Paris, France. That is Professor Lusadi,
Room
who
light.
seems to be talking to an empty room.
Room light. Entrance door. Entrance door. Hello.
Hello? Wait a minute. Did this door open all by itself?
It doesn't open by itself, but by a motor.
But how does the motor work?
The motor directs the door. And the motor itself is directed by a computer. And the computer is directed by myself, by my voice.
By your voice?
Yes.
So can you close the door?
Yes, it's possible. Entrance door. Entrance door. And as you can see, the door is shut.
Wait, so your voice goes into the microphone, and then it goes into the computer, and then the computer tells the motor to open the door? That's
Yes,
right?
indeed, that's right.
That's amazing. But why did they put this in a hospital room?
It is in a hospital because we have some patients who are disabled, and the computer is very useful for them.
So can I try?
Oh, yes, indeed. You take the mic.
Okay. Entrance door. Entrance door. It doesn't work.
Yes, because the computer only recognizes my voice.
So I can teach it to recognize my voice.
Oh, yes, also. With this device, you can teach the computer your voice. I erase my voice,
Yes?
I push a button, and you have pictograms.
Oh, that board up there.
Yes. And then you enter these words.
So I say the words when the images come up on the board.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Closet door. Television. Entrance door.
Now you have finished, and
Yes?
You can try if you want.
Yes, I can give an order to the computer?
Yes, you do.
Okay. How do I do that?
When the computer receives the order, it needs confirmation. Thus, you repeat the order twice.
So it's making sure that it's the same sound by having you say it twice.
Yes, and there is no confusion in the sounds that you introduce into the computer.
Closet door. Closet door. Hey, it works.
Nice.
Television. Television. The TV went on.
Yes, it is turned up.
Well, I want to thank you very much. And before I leave, I'm going to open the door like you taught me.
Yes, we can try again.
Entrance door. Entrance door. Works.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
To find out more about how computers can recognize the human voice, Chantal talked to Christian Everard, an engineer who develops computer programs for voice recognition.
Really? The voice can actually turn into a shape on the screen?
Yes. So, Chantal, when you speak, your vocal cords are making the air vibrate
Really?
in your mouth. When you put your hand here and say ah,
Ah. Oh, yes, I felt the vibration.
this vibration is coming into the microphone and is analyzed by this small computer. So, we will go to see an experiment later to recognize the name of the colors. But before, we will see on the screen the shape of the words red and blue.
Oh, so now we're going to see on the screen the shapes that the words red and blue make.
Yes, I start.
Okay.
Red, red,
Red, red, blue, blue.
You see that when I say red and when you say it, it's different.
Yes.
But when you say red and blue, it's much, much more different.
Yes, the two different words have different shapes. Is this the computer that recognizes the names of the colors when you say them?
Yes. But before to be recognized, you have to train the computer. Here is a program.
Can I put it in?
You can. Now you take the microphone and you say the words.
Okay. Blue, red.
Perfect.
So what happens now?
Well, the computer, you remember the shape of the words you have seen on the other screen before. The computer has put all these shapes of each word in one memory. And it is in as long as you want. One word, one shape, one memory.
So each word has a shape. And now the shape of every word I said has gone into the memory?
Yes.
So now I can try to give the computer an order?
Yes, you can try, and you will see if you recognize your voice.
Blue. Oh, there's a blue circle. Red.
And now the red
There's
circle.
a red circle. So now the computer understands me.
No, it just compares the form, the shape of the word you said.
Oh, I see. What happened is that when I said the word blue, the shape that I made was the same as the shape that I made the first time when I said the word blue, when we were teaching the computer to recognize my voice. And
Yes.
since the shapes were similar, the blue circle appeared on the screen.
Exactly.
I understand.
It does not understand you, but it recognizes the word.
The shape.
Yes.
Yes.
Whenever there's trouble, we're there on the double. We're the Bloodhound Gang. If you've got the crime, we've got the time. We're the Bloodhound Gang.
Looks like we got stood up.
You sure this is the spot? Positive.
This just doesn't that bird watcher over there.
He's not bird watching. He's car watching. All the guy on the phone said was to meet him here. He'd know us. He said he could always spot a detective. Let's check him out. Sir?
Buzz off.
Mr. Jordan? We're from the Bloodhound Detective Agency.
I asked for a private eye. They send me a bunch of kids. Small fry, still wet behind the ears.
Then you'll want to try another agency, sir. Come on, kids. We'll miss the hopscotch funds.
Hold on. 3 pair of eyes are better than 1, huh? Maybe I can use you.
For what?
Don't you recognize me?
Should we?
Jim Jordan, the tennis whiz. Hey, I was so fast, the newspapers dubbed me Flash Jordan. I was on my way to the top. I guess all that was before your time, huh, kids?
I guess.
Then I got hit. Hit and run. Busted leg and all that. I never got my speed back. It blasted my tennis career.
Did the police find the car?
No. But I've never given up. I've spent years on the hunt. San Francisco, New Orleans, Boston, Chicago, and I'm still on the chase.
You figure it's here in the city?
I got a call from a friend who spotted it. I took the first flight out of Miami this morning.
What kind of car is it?
White. Big white limo.
Did you say you live in Miami?
Yeah. Giving tennis lessons to clucks and gum chewers.
You want us to find the white limo?
You got it.
There must be dozens in town.
Just check out the driver. Head shaved like a billiard ball. Just get me the license number and I'll do the rest.
Well, how do we get in touch with you?
Well, I'll be checking into the Starbuck Hotel at 14th and Bedford. I always stay there when I'm in town.
We'll stake out intersections.
Well, good hunting, kids.
You haven't said a word, Vicky. Why bother checking out his hotel?
No, just playing a hunch.
What hunch?
Let's see what the people at the hotel know about Mr. Flash Jordan.
I don't see any hotel around here.
Ma'am, can you tell us where to find the Starbuck Hotel?
Try the city dump.
What?
That hotel's been torn down 5-6 years ago.
Thanks. That tears it. Mr. Flash Jordan is playing us for chumps. Tennis pro from Miami, I don't buy it. Didn't you notice how pale his skin is?
Got it. He ought to be as tan as a baseball man.
That's right. He's laying down some kind of a story. He hasn't been in the Florida sun. But why would he give us the name of a hotel that was torn down years ago?
Maybe he didn't know.
But he says he always stays there.
Well, then he's been out of town for a long time.
Or out of circulation. Didn't he tell you he could always spot a detective? Well, only someone mixed up with the law would know something like that. A cop? Or a crook?
I vote crook. Say he has been out of circulation.
In prison?
Sure. He's been out on the streets, right? An ex-con.
Look!
Was the driver bald?
I couldn't tell, but I caught the license. It said Whale, H-Whale.
He must have come out of one of those shops.
Well, I'll go check.
I'll meet you back at the office. I'll see what I can fish out of motor vehicles on Mr. Whale.
David. There's your turkey and cheese. And the meatball is for Mary if she will move the radio so I can put it down.
El radio has been moved.
I love when you say that. Do it again.
Do what again?
Say radio. Oh, you mean el radio.
How do you do that?
I don't know. I just do it.
Show me how. Radio.
Okay, what can
No, show me. Where do I place my tongue?
I don't know.
Then how'd you learn to do it?
I just heard it. When I was growing up, my parents spoke Spanish, so I just said what I heard.
Kids pick up languages very easily.
Oh, so that's why I have trouble learning French. I'm not a kid anymore. Debbie, does anyone in your family speak another language?
Well, my grandmother spoke Yiddish sometimes. I know a couple of words like mazel tov.
What does it mean?
It means good luck.
That's a good word to know.
Yeah, knowing a couple words is good, but it's not like knowing a whole other language like you do.
You could say that again. That's why I'm determined to learn French. I guess your grandma would say I got chutzpah.
You mean chutzpah.
Right.
Wait, do that again.
What?
Say chutzpah.
Chutzpah. Chutzpah.
How do you make that sound?
Chutzpah.
Wait a minute.
Chutzpah. Chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
Chutzpah. Chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
321 Contact is a production of the Children's Television Workshop and FR3.
Bye.